सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। We have to see etad buddhva buddhiman syat krita krityascha bharata is over, you know? Tasmat na pradipatti vidhi vishayataya brahmanaham samarpanam. So, we are just, we concluded, this is the conclusion. For the reasons given above, well, pratipatti vidhi vishayataya, meaning as related to upasana. Pratipatti is upasana. Vidhi means, vidhi vakya, a statement of upasana. Vishaya means the object, as the meaning, as the sense of the statement of upasana. Vidhi vishayataya pratipatti vidhi vakya. Vidhi means vidhi vakya. Vishayataya na brahmana samarpanam. Brahman is not present. Vedanta does not present Brahman as something to be worshipped, as something to be physically worshipped, or as something mentally to be worshipped. Brahman is not the sense of those statements of karma and upasana. Because every statement of upasana is in the form of vidhi, as an advice. Do this, do that. But Brahman is not mentioned, is not referred to by Vedanta as, as something you have to worship Brahman. He says, you are Brahman. You are Brahman is a serious statement. You see, we are used to hearing statements of do's and don'ts. Ram Sivai. The do's and don'ts, because that is the svabhava. Jiva has no exposure to, he is not used to hearing, some statement of fact about himself. You see? Nobody comes and says, I am this, I am that, except being called some names. Shruti, nobody comes and says, you are Brahman or etc. But the Shruti comes and says, Atma is Brahman. Now, Atma is Brahman, you are unlimited. This statement, you are unlimited, cannot be interpreted to mean that I should worship the unlimited. This is something, Fire is hot. This statement cannot be interpreted, to mean that you should worship it as, you should look upon it as hot. I don't have to look upon fire as hot. Fire is hot as a matter of fact. Supposing fire is not hot, then maybe I can be told, though it is not hot, please look upon it as hot. Then it becomes an attitude. Then it becomes an upasana. Upasana means an attitude. Ganga is water. But if you say Ganga is water, then it is a statement of fact. It's not that I should look upon it as water. It is not that I should look upon it as water. Supposing I am told that Ganga is a Devata, then it is an attitude. That means Ganga is Devata means may you look upon Ganga as Devata. That means I am asked to entertain a certain attitude towards Ganga. So that attitude is called upasana. That it is water is a statement of fact. Similarly here, it says, thou art unlimited, discover it. Thou art unlimited is a statement of fact about the self. Now I can't interpret it to mean that I should look upon the self as unlimited. That it is not a statement of attitude. Look upon yourself as unlimited. Look upon yourself as eternal. Is what is called upasana. Is what is called an attitude. That is a vidhi. That is different. Whereas here the Vedanta Vakyas are not really vidhi Vakyas. They are saying thou art nityaha, shuddhaha, buddhaha, muktaha. In fact, you are just really distinct from all that you think that you are. You see, even attitudes, now I am just doing some mimamsa. You have to give thoda sa, you have to. Here. Supposing Ganga is water, and it would not be possible for me to entertain an attitude that it is not water. I can't have an attitude that it is not water. At best, I can look upon it as divine water. Similarly, I can look upon myself, I am an empirical individual. I am an individual. And at best, really, I can have an attitude that I am a divine individual, but not non-individual. You can't have attitudes totally opposed to the reality. That's not possible. I can't look upon fire as cold. It's not possible. Try to have an attitude. Try to inspire in yourself an attitude. Try to look upon fire as cold. I can look upon fire as a devata, all right, it is hot, but it is devata. It is fire god, I can, at best I can say. Water I can look upon as Varuna devata, but really oceans I can't think of as non-water. In the same manner, if I have to have an attitude towards myself, I can at best have I am a divine individual, not a non-individual. And when the Shruti comes and says you are a non-individual, meaning you are not limited, you are not limited, cannot be an attitude. Not limited means I feel I am limited. Shruti comes and says you are not limited. That means, well, there is something that I have not understood about myself. Maybe the feeling that I have about myself, the limitation that I feel about myself, maybe it is wrong. How I am not limited is a matter for inquiry, investigation and understanding rather than a mere belief and attitude. Thus, attitude also has a place, it has a logic. You can't look upon anything as anything. That's not possible. Attitudes have a maryada. Upasana has a maryada. And therefore here it is said, Na pratipatti vidhi vishayataya brahmanaha samarpanam. Brahman is not really conveyed in Vedanta as something that you should believe in. You should believe in. It is something that is unfolded as yourself in keeping with your experiences. Okay. The next point we can go into. Yadapi kechidahuhu pravritti nivritti vidhitachesha vyatirekena kevala vastuvadi veda bhagaha nasti iti tanna Upanishadasya Purushasya Ananyaseshatvat Yadapi Kechidahuhu. As regards what is said by some people, Yadapi Kechidahu. Yadapi Kechidahu. Kechid means some people, Ahuhu means Vadanti. With reference to something some people say. Here is an argument raised by some people. And what is that argument? Pravritti nivritti vidhita chesha vyatirekena. The whole phrase means except as related to karma. Except as related to karma. Pravritti and nivritti, because all actions are only meant to pursue objects, to gain objects or to withdraw from objects. The objects that I like, I want them, that is called pravritti. The objects that make me uncomfortable, I don't want them, that is called nivritti. These are called pursuits and withdrawals. And what is it that is related to, these pursuits and withdrawals are all in the form of human actions. Empirical, secular as well as Vedic actions. To invoke rains, you perform a Vaidika karma. To avoid rains also, again you perform a karma. Supposing you have got your daughter's marriage and you don't want rains, then you ask the Panditji, please perform some ritual to say that no rains. And they have got a ritual for everything. To have rains, there are rituals. To avoid rains also, there are rituals. And sometimes when you perform ritual for rain, it won't come. And when you perform ritual to avoid it, it will come. So there may be something we don't know, but it happens. What is important is all human activity, secular activity as well as Vedic activity is all in the form of pursuits and withdrawal. Pursuits towards objects or withdrawals from objects. This is there. This is called pravritti, nivritti. Vidhi, which is an action. Tat sesha, as related to it. Vyatirekena, apart from, except. Except as related to the human activity, except as related to human activity of pursuits and withdrawals. Kevala Vastuvadi, talking only about the self. Veda Bhago Nasti. Veda doesn't have a particular portion. Veda doesn't have pages. Veda doesn't have a topic called the self, and Veda only talks about pursuits and withdrawals. Iti, this is what some people say. Some people say, now I have just, I have to do justice to the language also there. But now, you can hear, some people say, apart from rituals, Veda doesn't have any other topic. Whatever Veda says is all in the form of rituals. Veda doesn't have any, it has only statements of do's and don'ts, it doesn't have a statement of a fact. It talks to me as to what I should do and what I should not do in my life. It does not talk to me what I am. This is the stand some people take. And supposing we say, what about Vedanta? Vedanta talks about the self. It doesn't talk about. Vedanta doesn't say what I should do and what I should not do. Vedanta says what I am and what I am not. You see, they are two different things. You are not the form, you are the formless. You are not born, you are eternal. You are not inside space, in fact, you are the truth of space. Now, these statements do not come under do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts are different. In morning you get up and perform Sandhya Vandanam. This is called a do. Go to office in time. That is a do. Look after your wife and children. That is a do. And don't drink alcohol. That is a don't. Don't tell lies. That is a don't. You understand? Don't commit violence is a don't. Speak truth is a do. Be honest is a do. Go for your daily walk is a do. Now some people say Veda only talks about do's and don'ts. But what about this Vedanta? Vedanta says you are not the form. Now is it a do or don't? This. Is it a do or don't? You are not the form. It doesn't say please don't be the form. It doesn't say please don't be the form. It doesn't say please don't take birth. It says you have no birth. It doesn't say don't be the form. It says you are not the form. It doesn't say become unlimited. It says you are not limited. It doesn't say please don't disappear in Sushupti. It says you don't disappear in Sushupti. In fact, you are there in Sushupti. Now, when it talks, what you are not, these statements do not come under do's and don'ts. And therefore, as regards those who say, as regards the argument that is given by some people, which says that Veda doesn't talk anything other than do's and don'ts, well, for that argument, here is the answer, Bhashyakara says. You see, Pravritti nivritti viditachesha vyatirekena kevala vastuvadi veda bhago nasti. Become Brahman, it doesn't say you are Brahman. Worship Brahman, it doesn't say you are Brahman. Become one with it, it doesn't say you are already it. It doesn't say take root in Brahma. It says you are choicelessly the Brahman, whether you like it or not. Therefore, recognize a statement of fact. And those who say no, Veda only talks about do's and don'ts, for that argument here is the answer. Tanna. It says this argument is wrong. Yadapi kechidakuhu tanna. That is wrong. Why? Aupanishadasya. This Brahma Vidya, Brahman, the self as unlimited, it is qualified as the topic of Upanishads. The topic of the Upanishads is called Aupanishada. Upanishadam Vishaya. Upanishadam Vishaya. Upanishadam Ayam. Aupanishada. So our existence is called Aupanishada. Aupanishadasya Purushasya. Why we are called really the topic of Vedanta? Because Vedanta talks about the Atma. Therefore, Atma is otherwise called Aupanishadaha Purushaha. Aupanishadaha Purushaha. And the Shashti Ekavachan is Aupanishadasya Purushasya. Ananya Seshatvat. The topic of Vedanta, which is indeed the self, it is unrelated to your do's and don'ts karma, and it is unrelated to rituals. It is unrelated to material pursuits. It is unrelated to Vedic rituals. It is not related to anything. Ananya Seshatva. It has no relation with anything other than itself. You see, supposing I have to go on a yatra. Yatra is a word, but there are so many things related to it. I have to go to Gangotri, or I have to go to Vaishnav Devi. Vaishnav Devi, what we call the Kashmir, Amarnath. It's a long journey. Then there are so many things related to it. I have to pack my things which are necessary on the way. That is all related to yatra. I have to pick up my woolens related to yatra. I have to I have to collect the eatables also which are necessary on the way. That is related to yatra. And I have to take care of the security on the way. That is also related to yatra. Oh my God, there are a million things that get related to the meaning of the word yatra. Now yatra is not just really just going and coming. There are so many things that play a role in, that get related to yatra. This is what is called Seshatva. Related. You understand? No? All related. So similarly, if I have to perform a ritual, you have to get, you want to get a havan performed in your house. It's an action. It is just one statement. Perform havan in the house. It's just one vakya. Now, that Vakya includes so many things. To get a Havan performed, million things get related to it. I have to find out the day, I have to find out the Panditji, I have to find out the resources, and then I have to go for shopping. Oh, Rama, by the time the Havan is over, you are tired. Or your daughter's marriage, I think that will go home. All that is to be done, daughter's marriage has to be done, only one Vakya. And is it really Ananya Sesha or Anya Sesha? It has Sesha there, so million things are related to it. Marriage is only just tying the, what we call Mangala Sutra. Tying Mangala Sutram is called marriage. But it's not that Mangala Sutram can be just tied. There are so many related things. This is called Anya Seshatva. These are called Vidhis. But when the Shruti says, thou art, fire is hot. We'll go to the topic after this. Fire is hot, depending upon how many factors? An action depends upon a million factors. Yatra depends upon a million factors. Havan depends upon a million factors. Marriage depends upon a million factors. Ashwamedha Yaga depends upon million. Any action depends upon a million factors. But fire is hot, depends upon what? How many factors? Fire is hot means that is its nature, not depending upon something. Fire is hot by nature. Another example. An object is limited. A pot is limited. Its limitation. Pot is limited is a statement of fact. Depends upon how many factors. Pot is limited. Depends upon how many factors? No. I say pot is limited by its nature, doesn't depend upon any factors. Fire is hot by nature, doesn't depend upon any factor. The sun is bright, that is its nature, doesn't depend upon any factors. The body changes. Body changes. It's a statement. Body changes. So change is the nature of the body. If it is the nature, then the nature doesn't depend upon many factors. If it depends upon many factors, please understand, then it is not the nature. In that manner, a statement of nature is called a statement of fact. A statement of nature. What is the nature here? This seer of the world, you the conscious being, you are not the inert form, you the conscious being, conscious of the waking, conscious of the dream, conscious even of the blackout, called the deep sleep. You the conscious being is indeed unnegatable and you are all comprehensive. You are not a given form, you are a non-form, you are unlimited by nature. If it is the nature, then it doesn't depend upon many factors. Then there is no Sesha-Seshi Bhava. Actions depend upon a million factors, but nature doesn't depend upon million factors. Therefore, the self which is unfolded in Vedanta, here Bhashyakara says, Aupanishadasya Purushasya Ananya Seshatvat, it is unrelated to any factor. It is unrelated to any action. Is clear? Ananyaseshatvat yosau upanishatsu evam adhigataha purushaha asansari brahma utpadyadi chaturvida dravyam vilakshanaha swaprakaranastha ananyaseshaha nasau nasti nadhigamyate iti va shakyam vaditum sayesha neti neti atma iti atma shabdat atmanascha pratyakyatum ashakyatvat yayeva nirakarta tasyaiva atmatvat. So, Yosau Upanishatsu eva adhigataha. This topic is something that is dealt with only in Vedanta. It's not really the topic in Karma Kanda. What we are, that the Atma is eternal, that the Atma is Brahman, is not the topic in Karma Kanda. It is not the topic of Pratyakshadi Pramanas. That is what is called Upanishatsu eva adhigataha, means everything else is excluded. So I can't use my eyes and then find out I am not the form. That means our existence is not an object of our eyes. Our existence as a conscious existence is not an object of the Pratyaksha Pramana. And it is also not Pratyaksha based Anumana Pramana. It is not Anumana Vishayam. It is not Pratyaksha Pramana Vishayam. Nor is it handled in Karma Kanda. Nor is it handled in Tarka Samaya, in the books of logic. Now, where is really the self talked about? That is said, well, Upanishatsu eva, only in the Upanishads. Adhigataha is unfolded, is available. Adhigataha means is available, is unfolded. Not that the Atma exists only in the Upanishads, only in the Upanishads it is talked about. It's unfolded. Upanishatsu eva adhigataha yaha asau. Yo asau means jo yaha. Upanishatsu eva adhigataha. This self that is unfolded only in the Upanishads. Purushaha, this being. Asansari Brahma, this being, this self that is unfolded only in the Upanishads as Asansari Atma. Asansari means struggle-free self. So this struggling self is unfolded. You are by nature free from struggle, and the felt struggle is due to some bhranti, not your nature. Bhranti is very, very natural. When what is the nature, if that is not seen, then there is a bhranti about the nature. This is the law, this is the rule. When I don't see something as it is, then I start seeing it differently. That is adhyasa. So, Asansari Brahma, the Atma that is unfolded in the Vedanta, unfolded as Asansari Brahma, Utpadyadi Chaturveda Dravya Vilakshanaha, and it is totally unlike an object. The nature of the self that is unfolded in the Upanishads is vilakshana. Vilakshana means utpadya, adi, chaturvidha, vilakshana. It is unlike reaching a point. It is unlike creating we create crops and it is limited. We reach a point. That is also, it is limited. If I can reach a place, then I can leave it. That is the result of an effort. I make an effort and reach a point. I make an effort and create crops. I make an effort and modify things. I make an effort and purify things. These are the fourfold results that man can really achieve by his pravrittis and nivrittis. Whereas the self, by nature, it need not be reached in time. Because I am already there, I don't have to reach. I don't have to bring my existence, I don't have to create my existence because I am already there. So I don't have to bring about my existence. So I am not utpadyam. I don't have to reach myself in time and space because I am already felt, I am feeling myself. I don't have to purify myself because I am already pure. The purity of the self also is experienced. When a person falls asleep, all his impurities resolve, which means the resolving impurities are not his nature, they are all in the form of thoughts. If the impurities that we feel about ourselves in the waking state, if they were our nature, then they would not have resolution and there would not be sleep. You see? There would not be sleep. Sleep is always in the form of a mental resolution. When the mind resolves, we call it sleep. But actually sleep is an unwarranted word. It is a state of resolution of the mind. It is not that the mind is really having a sleep state. In fact, the very mind resolves. So, if somebody says, I experience sleep, you say, in what terms do you experience sleep? Says, my mind resolves. Then call it resolution of mind, don't call it sleep. There is no sleep, there is only resolution of mind. So when the mind resolves, my idea that I am limited or I am impure, I am guilty and I am a failure or successful, all my ideas about myself felt in the waking state, all those ideas which trouble me really, that all those things resolve. All my impurities, the felt impurities resolve. And if they resolve unto me, then they are not my nature. What can disappear cannot be my nature. Therefore, I don't have to purify myself. The Vedanta comes and says, you are already pure and recognize your pure nature. So, it is unlike, it need not be reached, it need not be created, and it need not be purified. And do I have to modify myself? He says, no, you don't have to really modify yourself because, well, in the modifications can be brought about in the body all right, modifications can be, adjustments can be brought about in the mind all right, but in the self, no modification is allowed. Try to bring about a small modification in your deep sleep. And let us just, a very serious matter. We say we have to bring about modifications in ourselves. So when the mind resolves, whatever remains is the self. When the mind resolves, whatever is, what survives the mind is the truth. Now the one that survives the resolution of the mind that which survives that which remains, that which survives the resolution of the mind is the self. Now, that in that self, what adjustments, what modifications can you bring about? Deep sleep state, can it be modified? And therefore, vikara is not, vikara, the truth doesn't allow vikara, the truth doesn't allow change, the truth doesn't allow any reaching or creation, etc. And therefore, the truth is by nature unlike the four kinds of results like utpadyadi. That's why here Bhashikara says, utpadyadi chaturvidha dravya vilakshanaha. It is unlike the fourfold results. That dravya should be taken as only phala. Chaturvida phala vilakshana. Chaturvida dravya vilakshanaha should not be taken as fourfold objects. Say fourfold results. If the truth is unlike the results, unlike the fourfold results, that means it is unlike all the results, because all the results come under and only fourfold. It is unlike any result. If it is unlike any result, then definitely it means it's not a result. If it is not a result, then it is not a result of an action. Because result means result of an action. That means it is not a result of an action. If it is not a result of an action, then it is not a karisesham, vidisesham. It doesn't have any relation with action. Now, action really, supposing in the waking state, these are things to be, we have to get the insight in, even a layman can get insight into what is being said here. Supposing, generally, there is always a reaction. When Vedanta says you don't have to do anything for moksha, it is always misunderstood. All that we say is you have to recognize the truth, but not doing any actions. Like, in the waking state, you do actions, going here and there. This is all called activity. Coming to Ramana Kendra, going back, going to office, and office mein kaam karna, vagaira, 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 cleaning, washing, cooking, all these things are all actions. Is falling asleep an action? Supposing you want to go to sleep. Is it an action? Is the resolution of the mind an action? It's not an action. In fact, it is a resolution of action. Resolution of action cannot be called another action really. Why? Because I am not bringing it about by my choice. I am not really choosing to sleep. In fact, I give up the choice and then I fall asleep. I stop using choice. I stop using the will. I can choose to lie down, but I can't choose to sleep. Sleep is not born of choice. So in that manner, just as really I don't have to use the choice to fall asleep, I have to only fall in line with the truth. Bas. And then similarly here also, what the student has to do is he has to just recognize what is within anubhava. Therefore, Brahma Utpadyadi Chaturveda Dravya Vilakshanaha Swaprakaranastaha. What is this Upanishadaha Purushaha? Swaprakaranastaha. Brahma Vidya is unfolded only in Brahma Prakaranam, not in Karma Prakaranam. Like karma is mentioned only in Karma Prakaranam. In fact, everything is Swaprakaranastaha in this world. Form is Swaprakaranastaha because form is available only in the realm of the sight. Sounds are available only in the realm of the ear, the shrotram. The world is available only in the realm of the senses. Karmakanda, the rituals are available only in the realm of Karmakanda. And the Vedanta, Brahman, Atma is unfolded as Brahman only in Vedanta. And therefore, Brahma is the topic in its own prakaranam, swaprakaranastham. It has its own context. It is not related to Karmakanda. That is why I said it is Bhinna Prakaranam. Karmakanda is a Bhinna Prakaranam and Vedanta is a Bhinna Prakaranam. That is why Brahman is the topic only in Vedanta. It is Swaprakaranastha. Like you are going to Yatra and packing the bags. In which context? Does it have its own context? Packing the bags is in which context? Yatra context. Apna prakaran nahi hai. Apna prakaran nahi hai. If I am going to Yatra, then I have to pack the bags. You see? This is what is called Sesha. It is related to something else. Unrelated to Yatra, it has no utility. Here some people think Brahman, talking about Brahman is useful only because it gets related to the ritual upasana. And that is objected to by Bhashikara here saying, Brahman has got its own prakarana, swaprakaranastha. It has its own prakarana. Brahman is not talked about as a part of rituals. If it is a part of rituals, then it is really anyasesha. It is swaprakaranastha. Swaprakaranastha. And therefore ananyasesha, unrelated to anything. Not related to anything else. Not related to karma. Not related to upasana. Not related to any pratyakshadi pramana vishayas. It is unfolded as a reality by itself, unrelated to it. That is why swaprakaranastha ananyaseshaha nasau nasti. Nobody can say it is not there. There is no such a fact. There is no such a self. There is no such a thing called the eternal self. In this manner, nasau nasti. One can't say there is no such a truth which is eternal. Nasau nasti. Na adhigamyate. Nor can it be said that it cannot be understood. One may see these are the two stands. Neither can I take a stand that the self is not evident. Nor can I take the stand that it cannot be understood. One is, you can't take a stand against its being evident. Nor can you take the stand that it can't be understood. I can't say it is not evident. I can't also say it can't be understood. Nasau nasti, that is evidence. Na adhigamyate, nor it can be understood. Some people may say truth may be there, but it can't be understood. Bhagavan may be there, kaun dekha, who can understand? The first argument is, I don't believe in God. Supposing you go on pestering him. Somebody says, I don't believe in God. Then you go on pestering. No, you have to believe in God. Otherwise, theek nahi hai, jeevan mein, you have to believe in God. All these housewives, keep on dragging their menfolk to the mandirs, vagaira. Chalo satsang, chalo mandir, chalo idhar chalo, udhar chalo. They go on pestering because women folk are more sensible. Therefore, they have fundamentally that trust, that faith in Him. The men folk are dragged. They'll say, okay, we believe in God. But what is the use of believing in God? Nobody can understand. So, one stage, the fundamental stand is, I don't believe in the evidence of truth. The second statement is, I don't believe that it can ever be understood. Nasau nasti na adhigamyate iti va shakyam vaditum. It is not possible to say. See, asau nasti na adhigamyate iti va na shakyam vaditum. It is not possible to say. Why? Because sayesha neti netyatma. You can't say it is not evident because iti atma shabdas, the word atma is used for the truth unfolded. Atma means the self. Self means oneself. Atma is the self, that which pervades all thoughts. Apnoti iti atma. Attiti atma. Ashnute iti atma. Attiti atma. In fact, atma shabda comes from the other dhatu. That which pervades thoughts. That which is enjoying really, that which sees, enjoying the world. The one who is enjoying the world is the truth. Enjoying the world means seeing the form, hearing the sound, tasting the object, touching the object, smelling the object. You understand, remembering the objects. Perception is called really atti. The very perceiver is the Atma, the perceiver of the waking, the perceiver of the dream, and the perceiver of the negation of the waking and the dream. This very perceiver is the Atma. Therefore, the Shruti uses the word Atma, implying the self. And now you can't say the self is not evident. You can't say I am not evident. Me as the perceiver is not evident, you can't say. Me as aware is not evident, you can't say. Me as the waker is not evident, you can't say. Me as the dreamer is not evident, you can't say. Me as the sleeper is not evident, you can't say. Therefore, we cannot doubt our own evidence. Because doubt is not possible, whereas an intransigent stand is possible. You see? I can take a stand, no, it is not evident. I say, how can you say I am not there? It is like saying I don't talk. I am talking and say I don't talk. Or some people say I never tell lies. Some people say, no, I don't tell lies. Even before he wants to say something. And in order to create trust in you, and he says, I'm going to tell you something which is very true and I don't tell lies, please listen. That means what? That is another. I don't tell lies. I don't talk. And I am not aware. How can I really take the stand against my own existence? Therefore, Atma Shabdat, and how is the Shruti, how does the Shruti use the word Atma? Sayesha neti neti Atma. Sayeshaha Atma. Naiti, naidam, naidam. Sayesha Atma, naidam, naidam. Simple, very clean statement. This self is free from being all that is objectifiable. This self is free from being any jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. Sayesha neti neti Atma. Why? Because Atma itself is seen as an object. Atma is seen as a form. And therefore naturally I have to say, the Shruti has to say it is free from being the form. Thus this corrective statement called Sayesha neti neti Atma, this Atma Shabda is used by the Shruti all over, and the Atma Shabda means oneself, and the self, and that self cannot be, I can't say it is non-evident. Nor can I take the stand that it can't be understood. Why? Because anything that is evident can be understood. All that you have to dismiss is not ununderstandability. You have to dismiss the non-evidence conclusion. if you can convey to the person how the self is evident, the self as a thought is evident, the self as eternal is evident. So, the doubts regarding the evidence of what is taught, those doubts are removed. If the evidence is conveyed, understandability is conveyed. In fact, they are not two. Conveying the very evidence is conveying the understandability, in fact, concluding the very teaching. That is why here Bhashyakara is putting emphasis on negating the evidence. Iti Atma Shabdat Atmanascha Pratyakhyatum Ashakyatva. It's not possible to deny one's own existence. Atmanaha Atmaka Pratyakhyatum. Pratyakhyatum means Pratyakhyan karne ke liye. Khyatum, khyatum, akhyatum, prati akhyatum. Vyakhyanam, akhyanam, it all comes from the kya. Achakshate. So that is tumun pratyaya, when you add it becomes akhyatum. And with prati it becomes to refute. Pratyakhyatum means to refute. Pratyakhyatum ashakyatva. It is not possible to deny one's own existence. You see, what he is saying is it's not possible. It's not possible to deny one's own existence. Yayeva nirakarta, the one who denies, yaha eva nirakarta, nirakartru becomes nirakarta. So the one who denies, yayeva nirakarta, tasyaiva atmatvat, himself is the Atma. Yayeva nirakarta, tasyaiva atmatvat, the very person who denies is the Atma. His own Swarupam is the Atma. His own actualities we are talking about. Himself is the Atma. And therefore, the evidence of Atma that is being discussed in Vedanta, the existence of the Atma that is being discussed here, is something, it is evident and it can't be denied, and that is the topic. Nor can you say, well, it is evident but it can't be understood. You can't say, because if it is evident, then it can be understood as evident. Truth is evident as it is. Understand? Truth is evident as it is. Differently I am perceiving. Its evidence is as it is. Because facts can't be evident different. They can't be evident differently. They are evident as they are. Facts are evident as they are. My perceptions are distorted. There cannot be a distortion in the evidence of a fact. Hey Rama. If the very evidence is distorted, then how do you know that it is a distortion? Based upon Swarupa. But then the Swarupa is evident distortedly, you are saying. If the very evidence is distorted, on what basis do I know that it is distorted? Very, very serious matter, ji, if you have time to think. Bahut hi badi baat hai. Therefore, you can't say Brahman is evident but really distortedly is wrong. Brahman is evident as Brahman. He is distortedly perceived by me. They are two different things. Brahman is experienced but distortedly is wrong. Brahman is experienced as it is. We are experiencing ourselves as Brahman with a distorted perception. 10th man is experiencing himself not as a non-10th man. 10th man is experiencing himself as a 10th man with a distorted perception that he is away. So these statements like, yes, Brahman is within experience, but it is experienced distortedly, or it is evident distortedly, is all wrong. It all looks Vedanta, but really is a mess up in the crucial things. In fact, that is very important. The very foundation for Vedanta is discerning between Siddhi and Jnana. Existence, evidence and distortion. Factuality and perception. Therefore, to be the Veka is evidence of the unlimitedness, because everything falls within your attention. Therefore, your attention is unlimited. The whole dream falls in your attention. Therefore, the dimension of your attention is unlimited. And that is a conscious attention. The negation of the waking and the dream also falls in my attention. And therefore, the attention is unlimited. Therefore, that attention is not a thought. That is the being. That is Anubhava, that is the Drashta. Therefore, constantly, choicelessly, we are experiencing ourselves as unlimited, because even as the perceiver of the space, air, fire, water, earth, and the waking and the dream, time, everything, as the Drashta of the waking, what are we experiencing? Even though I create a grammatical problem, I am Drashta of the waking world, but actually the world that we see falls where? It falls in the Drishti. Therefore, what is the dimension of the Drishti? The Drishti is unlimited. The entire dream falls within Drishti. Therefore, the dimension of the Drishti is unlimited. And then negation also falls in Drishti. Experience, and therefore our Anubhava is unlimited, Drishti is unlimited, awareness is unlimited. Therefore, let us not say, no, I am experiencing Brahman but as limited. But now I have to make an effort and experience it as unlimited. Now, does it become Vedanta? It is all the language of Vedanta. But is it Vedanta? I mean, is it Vedanta? I am experiencing Brahman, but as limited when you say, is it Vedanta? Despite the whole language of Vedanta, it is not Vedanta. Adi, it's not Vedanta. And therefore, tasyaiva atmatvatiti, and therefore, what we are experiencing, there is evidence of Atma as Brahma, which is not understood and which is seen as different, which is mistaken. And that correction of that mistake alone is the topic of Vedanta. Thus, Vedanta talks about only the Atma. It only unfolds how Atma is unlimited. It doesn't talk about which rituals you have to perform, which rituals you have to avoid, which actions you have to do in this world, which actions. This is not a book of advice, this is not a book of do's and don'ts, this is not a book of morals and ethics, this is not a book of codes of conduct, this is not a book of really religious codes and conduct, codes of conduct, no. This is something really unimaginable for mankind, really. They think Vedanta is also another religious book. It's a spiritual text. And then they say it's a very deep, profound spiritual text. Because you want to convey that you have a very profound understanding about Vedanta. Then how do you convey that you have a profound sense understanding about Vedanta? Then you just add a few more adjectives to Vedanta. It is a very profound text, very deep text, an ordinary man cannot probe into it. It is meant for the very highly intellectuals. What is all that you are talking? Then they will say our sages, during meditations they discovered it. In Ganga Tera. I tell you, in Himalayas they were meditating and they discovered. In Himalayas, survival is so difficult, leave alone discovering something. It is so cold there. Whatever you had discovered in Delhi will not be gone there. What is there to discover? They are all meditating and they discover. Its very status as Shabda Pramanam is not understood. Because it is talking anything pious, we think it is all spiritual. Okay. Anyway, you can understand as students what I want to convey, because I can't convey all that I think. I can convey a part of it. And therefore, the evidence is not something partially evident or distorted evident. The whole of it is evident. Thus the difference, that discerning is not between the distorted evidence and the actual evidence. The discerning has to be done between the evidence of the truth and the distorted view, correctable view about it, bhranti about it. Bhranti vastu viveka. And that is the topic of Vedanta, and which you can't make it a part of rituals. You can't make it a part of dharma and dharma. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Ramachandra. At 9:40 the plane is coming. Then we are not going to the airport. We will go to see Swamiji at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, I will also telephone and I will give you a time.